Are you also aware that President Trump has filed claims seeking $230 million from the Justice Department for investigations conducted during his previous candidacy?
I'm unaware of the cumulative number.
Okay. So if the president wins or settles these claims, that money will come also from the Treasury Judgment Fund, which you do control. Have you recused yourself from any decisions about paying the president on these claims?
Again, I'll follow the law, and I'm not involved with any of this. It stems from justice.
So you, even though the Treasury Judgment Fund is called the Treasury Judgment Fund, you have no control over the Treasury Judgment Fund?
We act as paymaster.
So you will sign it then?
Sorry?
You will sign the check then? If you're a paymaster, you'd be the person's signature is to the Treasury Judgment Fund?
I would assume it would be a wire transfer.
Scott Bessent was frozen, completely solid, and honestly, he looked like a deer caught in high-beam tax fraud. Look, I just watched Senator Ruben Gallego grill the Treasury Secretary under oath, and wow, he literally forced Bessent to admit that $10 billion with a B, for Donald Trump's ridiculous IRS leak lawsuit is going to come straight out of the Treasury General account. Meaning every single penny is getting drained right out of your pocket to pay off the boss. Bessent tried to wash his hands of the whole thing by claiming he's just a paymaster pulling the lever for the DOJ, but Gallego completely blew his cover.
Sir, Senator Gallego.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Secretary Bessent, thank you again for being here today. We kind of touched on this earlier. In addition to being Treasury Secretary, you are serving as acting director of the IRS. So following up on Senator Kim's questioning, so you are fully aware that the president is suing your agency for $10 billion.
Yeah.
We would agree. Would you agree that $10 billion is a good sum of money?
Yes, sir.
Where would that be cut from? Let's say for some reason he actually wins that lawsuit. Where would that $10 billion come from?
Again, it would come from...
Process-wise. I'm not asking like your opinion whether it's right or wrong.
It would come from Treasury.
It comes from Treasury, which comes from the general fund?
The Treasury General account.
So taxpayers?
Yes.
Thank you.
Part of the 440,000 taxpayers whose returns were leaked.
If the president, they're not suing, but if the president prevails in this lawsuit, he's going to be able to pocket that money. My question is the president, has anyone in the president's office talked to you about this lawsuit in any regard?
They have not, and the president has said he will donate the proceeds to charity. You may have missed that.
So no one at all has discussed this to you whatsoever?
No, sir, and the president said he will.
Have you received, I didn't ask any more questions. Have you received any advice from Treasury's legal division about how to handle this potential conflict?
This is a Justice Department matter. They represent Treasury in it.
Have someone from the Department of Justice actually come and talk to you saying that this is their purview and you need to stay out of it, or who has discussed to you what is your role in this?
Our general counsel, who's sitting behind me, has told me that it is a Justice Department matter. The Justice Department defends Treasury in matters like this.
Okay, so it has been discussed with you. Do you have any final say at all in the process of this, or is the DOJ just going to instruct you to cut a check and or settle, and you have no independence to actually make a decision whether or not the president deserves $10 billion?
Again, that is a DOJ matter.
And so the DOJ will entirely make that decision whether or not the president should receive $10 billion. You have no say at all.
Correct.
So you would just have to write the check if you were told to write the check.
Correct.
And you would write the check willingly if you're told by a DOJ to the president.
I will follow the law, Senator.
Okay. I mean, I think for many of us, this is very simple, and I think if this had been happening in any other countries, it would look an absolute, like a total shakedown of the American taxpayer. Are you also aware that President Trump has filed claims seeking $230 million from the Justice Department for investigations conducted during his previous candidacy?
I'm unaware of the cumulative number.
Okay. So if the president wins or settles these claims, that money will come also from the Treasury Judgment Fund, which you do control. Have you recused yourself from any decisions about paying the president on these claims?
Again, I'll follow the law, and I'm not involved with any of this. It stems from justice.
So you, even though the Treasury Judgment Fund is called the Treasury Judgment Fund, you have no control over the Treasury Judgment Fund?
We act as paymaster.
So you will sign it then?
Sorry?
You will sign the check then? If you're a paymaster, you'd be the person's signature is to the Treasury Judgment Fund?
I would assume it would be a wire transfer.
Yes, I'm assuming we're not that old school.
Yep.
But that being said, so you have no say in this whatsoever. You will only basically follow what the DOJ says, but you're the person that actually is the final person that pushes send, essentially, on the wire transfer.
Yes.
And even if you feel or that it is unjust, the fact that this president is basically plundering U.S. taxpayer dollars, you will still hit that send button.
Even if I believe that 6103, the IRS tax code, was violated and 440,000 taxpayers were leaked
So
by Mr.
back
Littlejohn.
back to this other thing. So now, you do believe, though? I mean, do you understand why some of us see a problem with that? And let me ask just a very simple question: do you work for the president of the United States?
I work for the American people.
So can the president fire you?
Or he can.
He can fire you, correct?
Yes.
So isn't it a conflict of interest that you're going to be making these decisions and the president has full power over you?
I think you're confused, Senator. I am not part of the decision.
Well, you're certainly a person that send on the wire transfer, and I think that's why there's a lot of people that are actually
that is not part of
do
the
not
decision.
trust and do not trust the president's actually looking out his best interest.
I guess you were saying that
I'm controlling the time here.
obeying the
I'm
law
controlling. You're not obeying the law. You're plundering U.S. taxpayer dollars.
Obeying the
plundering
law
U.S.
is the
taxpayer
decision.
dollars.
Obeying the
Plundering
law is the
taxpayer dollars.
decision.
Plundering. Thank you. You'll back.
To really get why my jaw was on the floor watching this, you have to look at the sheer absurdity of the setup. Scott Bessent is currently sitting there wearing two hats. He's the Treasury Secretary and the acting director of the IRS. And at the exact same time, Donald Trump is actively suing those exact two agencies for $10 billion. So Gallego asks him a basic question. Where does that money actually come from if Trump wins or settles? And Bessent just admits it. It comes from the general fund. It's not play money. It's taxpayer money. It's public infrastructure money, healthcare money, school lunch money, being handed over to a billionaire because his feelings got hurt over a leak. Absolutely unbelievable. And then comes the dodge. When Gallego presses him on how this isn't a massive, glaring conflict of interest, Bessent tries to play totally innocent. He's like, oh, well, nobody from Trump's team talked to me, and hey, Trump said he'd donate the money to charity. Wait, are they kidding me? Since when do we run federal financial ethics on the honor system of Donald Trump? Then he pulls out his ultimate shield, the Department of Justice. Bessent basically goes, look, DOJ handles the lawsuit. I don't have any independent authority to say no. I just follow the law, right? So your defense is that you're just blindly following orders to hand public wealth to your boss? Seriously? This was the moment I wanted to stand up and cheer. Gallego did not let him off the hook. He looked at Bessent and called it exactly what it is, a total shakedown of the American taxpayer. Finally! Someone actually saying it out loud in a committee room. Because Gallego didn't stop there. He pointed out that Trump also has a separate $230 million claim against the DOJ over past investigations. And guess who pays that out? Yep, the Treasury Judgment Fund. It's like a nonstop cash register for the ruling class. This next part, I almost had to laugh to keep from yelling. Gallego asks about Bessent's control over the Treasury Judgment Fund, and Bessent literally describes his role as acting as the paymaster, just executing wire transfers whenever DOJ tells him to. So Gallego goes, so you're just the guy who hits the send button on the wire? And Bessent just sits there, yes. Think about how terrifying that is. Gallego reminds him, Trump has full power to fire you at any second. So if the president demands $10 billion and his appointed DOJ says looks good to us, Scott Bessent is just the guy sitting at the keyboard pushing send on $10 billion of our money, knowing if he hesitates for a second, he's out of a job. That isn't public service. That's a hostage situation for our taxes. By the end of the hearing, I was just completely fired up. Bessent keeps clinging to this robotic defense. I'm just a neutral public servant following procedure, obeying the DOJ. But Gallego laid bare the rotten reality of it all. When the guy hitting send on the check serves at the mercy of the guy receiving the check, the guardrails are completely gone. Gallego cut straight through the legalese and accused the administration of straight-up plundering U.S. taxpayer dollars, and watching Bessent just sit there in stunned, silent compliance while Gallego laid out the truth. It said everything you need to know. Honestly, watching this made my blood boil, but it also showed why we can't look away. It is mind-boggling how easily billions of dollars meant for public good can be funneled away under the cover of just following procedure. Whether Bessent actually thinks he's just following protocol or he's deliberately enabling this, the end result is the same. Everyday people get screwed while the powerful pocket billions. I am so grateful Ruben Gallego actually dragged this out into the light. But what do you think? Is Bessent really just a helpless paymaster, or is this an unbelievable abuse of power? Let me know down in the comments. Hit that like button and subscribe so we can keep calling this nonsense out together. Thanks for watching. Stay loud, and I'll see you in the next one.